Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to give everybody about 5 minutes just to enter the room. In the meantime, what we'd love to show you is actual gameplay. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy a little session of us showing you what the game actually looks like so that everybody can familiarize themselves with what we'll be offering today. All right. I think we're ready to get started and kick off our session. Once again, thank you so much to everybody who has joined us this afternoon. It really is a pleasure to be here with you today. I cannot tell you how excited we are to tell you more about this wonderful game, to talk about our passion collectively, which is entrepreneurship. So again, thank you for availing yourselves. We hope that the presentation is informative as well as entertaining. I am your MC for the day. My name is Candice Jacobs. I'm a learning experience analyst on the team, and I absolutely love what I do. It's got to do with some content and curriculum things, but with me today, I've got the rest of the team. If you guys just want to give a little wave, we will be the ones taking you through the presentation. To start us off, I would just like to set up a couple of house rules. The first being, please can you keep videos and microphones muted so as to not interrupt the flow of the presentation. We will have a section right at the end which will have Q&A. So if there are any questions, please can you hold them till the end of the session, where we will endeavor to do our best to answer all of them. If there is anything that is pressing as we go through it, please do put it in our chat, and we will make a record of those and then touch on them right at the end. Please feel free to engage with us as we do go along. There are the emojis that you can use to react. We love to see what gets participants really interested. And then the last thing is that we are going to have a couple of poll questions that will come up during the presentation. These will be reflected on your screen as the poll happens. If you could just select an answer, and then the results of the poll will be reflected at the end of 2 minutes once everyone has had the opportunity to answer. So before we kick off, I'd like to start with a quote by Krista McAfee. She said, "I touch the future, I teach." And I think that's very poignant to why we're all here today. We truly do believe in the value of our teachers in helping us get this off the ground and helping engage with our end user, which are students all across the country and Southern Africa at large. And so thank you again for being here, and we hope you enjoy. I'm going to hand over to Nontando. She's the head of public affairs and communications, as well as the captain of our ship. So Nontando, over to you.
Thank you very much, Candice, for that lovely introduction. A warm welcome to everyone who has joined us this afternoon. We are so excited to have, a diverse team of individuals joining us from across South Africa, Eswatini, Botswana, and Namibia. We don't take for granted the time that you have taken to join us this afternoon, as we know that everyone has quite a number of commitments to fulfill, especially after work. I thought perhaps as part of my sharing, I would just briefly share a little bit about why or how we got here as an organization in terms of having this webinar. Just briefly in terms of AGEC's history, the foundation initially started having talks of AGEC in 2014, and that was based on just feedback from schools that we had engaged with at the time, who assist in providing us a pipeline of students to apply for our programs, had indicated that they do not have tools that they can use in the classroom around introducing entrepreneurship practically to students, because entrepreneurship, unlike perhaps a number of different concepts, is a subject, is a discipline rather, that is best learned through practice. And so I challenged the foundation to look at how could we innovate in terms of then providing schools with a tool to bring entrepreneurship education into the classroom. And in 2016, we piloted a paper-based game that looked at bringing entrepreneurship mindset lessons into the classroom. And again, in 2017, then invested in terms of building a 2D game that we currently celebrate today. So again, in terms of our journey, it has gone through quite a number of evolutions. Firstly, one from piloting, as indicated, the request from educators who partner with the foundation, but two, then where we were looking at how do we expand the participation of AGEC in terms of how we work as an organization and spread its reach to reach more individuals and schools across the country. At that time, we also introduced a primary version of the game called Primary Champions, and later introduced as well a TVET sort of like element in terms of the stakeholders that we engage in delivering the game, which then led us to further piloting the game in Eswatini, Botswana, and Namibia last year, starting off with 3 schools, and are happy that this year we have quite a number of schools that will participate and will be with us on our journey as we currently look at how do we practically democratize entrepreneurship education and ensure that it meets the objective that it was meant to achieve. And so with that said, the Allan Gray Entrepreneurship Challenge, which we commonly refer to as AGEC, represents more than just a competition. It embodies a paradigm shift in how we approach entrepreneurship education. By harnessing the power of gamification, AGEC transforms learning into an immersive and enjoyable experience. Through gamified challenges, students not only absorb theoretical knowledge, but also apply it in a practical and real-world scenarios in terms of looking at how entrepreneurship can be used for the common good in adding value to society, whilst then bringing financial sustainability to those who use it as a platform. This approach not only then enhances comprehension, but also fosters a spirit of creativity and innovation. And so one of the key strengths of AGEC lies in its adaptability and accessibility, recognizing the diverse needs and learning preferences of students and teaching styles of schools. And so AGEC offers a flexible framework that accommodates different learning styles. Whether students or schools prefer self-paced exploration or structured classroom sessions, AGEC provides the tools and resources necessary for them to succeed. Furthermore, the game offline capabilities ensure that even students with limited internet access can participate fully. And we have really looked at how to eliminate barriers that limit entry and also limit inclusivity. That has been quite a big focus for us, and as the team unpacks what to expect in the year, they'll give you examples of how we have done this. Crucially, AGEC is not confined to the confines of the classroom, but extends beyond traditional educational boundaries. By incorporating elements of competition and collaboration, AGEC cultivates camaraderie and community among participants. Students are encouraged to exchange ideas, share insights, and learn from each other, creating a vibrant ecosystem of entrepreneurial talent. For teachers who are our special stakeholders today, AGEC represents a valuable opportunity to engage students in meaningful and impactful way. By integrating the game into the curriculum, teachers can implement methods with interactive hands-on learning experiences, which enhance the students' learning in the classroom, but also engagement, which by so doing adds in terms of equipping students with the practical skills and knowledge that they need to succeed in an increasingly competitive and global community. We also use, as an organization, AGEC as a pipeline driver for our other entrepreneurship development programs. This includes the fellowship program, which is a, sorry, just to check, I think there's muted. Thank you. So we also use AGEC as a pipeline driver for our other entrepreneurship programs. We've got a university program that is a very high-touch program that provides access to quality education for those who are awarded with a fellowship, whilst also implementing an in-depth entrepreneurship curriculum that assists and empowers youth to become and explore a future as responsible and high-impact entrepreneurs. And so with that, I always love to share that for us, AGEC is really not a game. We have seen some real life instances of impact where some of the students who have participated in the game have gone on to start businesses that are actually in operation even today as we speak. Some of the students who have participated in AGEC and with the skills that AGEC has provided them have gone on, as an example, to start a podcast for Supersport. This was driven by students who had participated in AGEC when they were in grade 10, they didn't win. They joined again in grade 11, they didn't win. Then when they were in grade 12, they went back to their community of peers at their school as part of the collaborative approach that it encourages. And, you know, the individual asked them to collaborate in terms of looking at how to set up the podcast. And in grade 12, the idea finally won. And they went on to be selected into our fellowship program and currently produced media content for youth for Supersport, as that is their specialty in terms of producing podcast content for a certain age group within the market that Supersports wouldn't necessarily have the means to cater for. We've also seen parents who, parents of individuals that have participated in AGEC who previously didn't believe that for their children, and have, through observation of how their kids have gone on to progress within the game, the skills that they have learned, and how they have taken them beyond participation in AGEC, have themselves been converted and have become big supporters of their kids exploring entrepreneurship as a viable option. And so the reason I share this is that as we embark on this, I hope that we would not underestimate the transformative power of entrepreneurship education. By empowering our students to think creatively, to solve problems, and to seize the opportunities available to them, we are laying the foundation for a more prosperous and innovative future. Through AGEC, we have the opportunity to unlock the full potential of our youth and shape a generation of visionary leaders who will become change makers. In closing, let us embrace the Allan Entrepreneurship Challenge as a catalyst for positive change and progress. I challenge you that together, let us inspire, let us educate, and let us empower the next generation of South African, Namibian individuals from Botswana and Eswatini, who will go on to become entrepreneurs that make a common good and are able to add value to society. Thank you for the opportunity, Candice, to share, and we look forward to further engagement.
Thank you, Nontando. As you can all tell, we couldn't have asked for a better captain on this ship. Really appreciate you. So to take us to our next slide, one of the reasons we're all here today to reward you and give you prizes. So our teacher prize for this webinar, how to win. So we are going to start by simply playing the game. You will register and play the game once through. The next step is to drive participation. So using your email address as a referral code, get at least 10 students to register. Once you have a minimum of 10 students registering, submit their email addresses for us to verify, and then you will submit the entry with the forms link that is below. It will also be provided to you at the end of the session. Regarding where to actually put in that referral code, this will be touched on a little bit later in the presentation. We will actually be able to see screenshots showing exactly where that's going to go. And then 15 teachers can stand a chance to win 500 Rand vouchers. So I hope that has everybody excited and feeling very, very good about engaging with us for the rest of the session, and then also getting your learners to play once you have all the information. First things first, we are going to start off with a poll. The question is, did your school participate in AGEC last year? So I think that's going to show on the screen very shortly. And then if everybody can just vote, we'll give it 2 minutes and then we'll check the results. Thirty more seconds. Okay, time is up. Let's see what the poll says. All right, so 27% of participants said that they have, 73% said that they haven't, which means you are in the exact right place to get all the information you need so that you can join us this year. And in saying so, we are going to hand over to our co-captain, Marcel, who's going to take you through a little bit about our story and what we aim to do within AGEC. Take it away, Mars.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Marcel, and it's been quite a journey. I just first want to say it's really heartwarming to see a lot of familiar names in the room. Even the responses in the chat are really, really incredible to see. It's been a really cool collaborative journey to put the audience at the center of what we're trying to do with this new era of AGEC and how we're trying to flesh out the program. And what we did was bring in quite a few teachers in terms of their opinions and also students to help us understand where we want to go. But I just also want to talk to the impact and the focus of where we're trying to go with this customer-centric approach and how we foresee it. And we've sort of titled, and this is sort of like how we articulate the level of impact that we see in this long-term journey that the Allan Gray Entrepreneurship Challenge aims to walk with our students, that we have the privilege to acquire a relationship with. And like Nontango mentioned earlier, the Allan Gray Entrepreneurship Challenge is much more than just a game. We refer to it as a movement because we really think long term with what it is and the amount of value that Allan Gray and the Allan Gray August Foundation has to offer in long term, real tangible impact. But I'm really glad to see that in the chat, people are really or starting to understand the type of mindset shift we're focusing on and the value that this game and the movement around the Allan Gray Challenge has, which is exciting. But just to start, I think meeting the hero of our story, Lerato, We wanted to articulate who our ideal user profile would be, and she is the main character for the first level of the high school game. Picture her, a young dreamer navigating life after school. She's on a quest for personal fulfillment and purpose, and she faces the common struggle of balancing stability and pursuing her passions, and happens to be torn between conforming to tradition or daring to follow her dreams. And that's where we see a lot of what our audience actually also faces, having those fears and uncertainties, understanding the fine line between stability and autonomy within their future, and trying to understand how to plan for that, and needing to acquire information, but having not been able to have context for what options are available beyond just the straightforward path. And AGEC, as we colloquially refer to it, empathizes with Lorato on this journey, acknowledging that there is a universal desire for stability and autonomy in order to achieve their dreams, but so many unanswered questions. And part of what we're trying to do with entrepreneurship and this mindset shift is explore the journey and the challenges that come through with being able to go and set out your own goals and address it. What we also are able to recognize within the fears that we respond to internally, our audience battles with self-limiting beliefs, a nagging sense of inadequacy, needing to navigate between the delicate balance of stability and autonomy, and then the external societal and economic pressures that we face within Southern Africa, casting shadows and doubts over the potential dreams that they could hold, or allowing themselves to dream based on the amount of pressures and challenges that exist and is placed on our high school audience. I think it's often entrepreneurship is seen as a state of survival and a last option. And what we're trying to do with the Allan entrepreneurial movement and challenge is show that entrepreneurship is much more than just a state of survival or a last line option. It's a path of self-efficacy, freedom of choice, but also being able to create your own path and persevere, to be able to understand that problems are not just something to solve, but opportunities to make a real difference in society and communities at any scale, to be able to go from being a job taker to a job provider. And that is something that is the heart of what we're trying to do and address within the cultural sort of like brand that we're building within AGEC. And we really see AGEC as a guiding light within this transformative journey. We are really trying to empathize with the fears that our audience holds within themselves, so that we can be a lot more relevant and speak to them in a relevant way to understand where they are and how we can meet them in this journey, to walk them through a long-term journey throughout the 5 years that they are in high school. We want people to be able to come back year on year, have a level of iteration to what the program offers, so that there's always something new and exciting to speak to them at a level of complexity that is adequate and apt for where they are in their development journey. And this might be seen as an unconventional method, but gaming, and the reason why the Entrepreneurship Challenge is so exciting for us, is that it is something that is very new. Gamification is something that is engaging, as is fun, but provides real tangible learning outcomes and experiences for us that we can track over the long term, that we also in future, as we start to refine these services, want to even be able to make available and visible to teachers, so that teachers could help also embark on us with this journey. And then speaking to this lifelong sort of like position of where we want to go and the mission to inspire and equip young entrepreneurs, we go beyond just a competition. It's a supportive community and a dynamic playground and gaming world that we've sort of equipped with a business pitching competition, our gaming initiatives, as well as a few pilot projects that we're hoping to scale next year. We're trying to foster innovation, creativity, promote entrepreneurship, and hopefully we can eventually get to a point where our audience, through the experience of the Allan Entrepreneurship Challenge and the movement throughout the year, see it as a desirable path, so that they can protect against missed opportunities and the consequences of inaction or uninformed decisions. We don't want Lorato to miss out on these valuable resources or connections and the wider audience who this could really have a massive impact for. We believe in the power of job creators and their ability to affect change in our economy, in our country. We also really believe in the power of what the Allan Gray Entrepreneurship Challenge has to offer, specifically with this game. It's incredible to see that people, specifically teachers on this call, have already been able to play the game. And I'm really excited to be able to share it widely for anyone to be able to see what we're about, see the value in it, and also be able to understand how this can fit into their context in a school. I just also want to emphasize the holistic support that the Allan Gray Entrepreneurship Challenge provides in partnership with the Allan Gray August Foundation through this long-term journey. It's not something that is just a once-off offering for us. We really take a dedicated and intentional approach towards the type of relationship we want to hold in the long term. And that's truly where we want to see impact being achieved. But we want to start now in high school, where we see the impact can also can actually be quite relevant. Thank you. And we're going to hand over back to Candice.
Thanks, Marcel. So just to make sure everybody's still with us, we're going to do another poll question. Before today, were you aware of the benefits associated with entrepreneurship games like AGEC? Like the last time, just going to give a minute so that everybody has a chance to submit. Thirty more seconds. Okay, perfect. Let's see those results. Oh, it's almost an even split. Okay, well, let's see if we can make you all entrepreneurship believers by the end of our session. Our next person to speak is our right-hand woman. Her name is Aretha, and she is an absolute star, and we're very lucky to have her. She will be taking you through little snippets of what the inside of the game looks like, for those of you who may have missed it at the beginning, as well as our timeline for this year. Thanks, Ree.
You, Candice. So yes, I'm just going to get started. First of all, hi everybody. I'm super pleased to have you here and happy to see you all in this session. Like Marcel said, it's really good to see some really familiar names, and it's also really amazing to see a lot of you who are joining us for the first time. I will be taking you through everything you need to know basically about the high school game that we are launching this year, which is super exciting. And I just want to start off with the campaign video so you can see basically an introduction to what AGEC is all about. So I'm going to start with that first, and then I'll take you through the information that you need to know. Okay. So. Second. Okay. Put that over. Okay, fantastic. So I hope that video just basically summarizes what it is that we're aiming to achieve. I think my colleagues before me have done a pretty incredible job of summarizing why AGEC was born in the first place, and what we're here what service we're here to provide. And so just in terms of walking you through what to expect in this incredible game that we've got for you this year, just walking you through what's inside this AGEC universe and what your learners will be exposed to, as well as what you will be exposed to as well, because one of the main differentiators of the games between last year and this year is that teachers are also able to play the game from their teacher profiles. Obviously not competitively, but you also have access to the game. I mean, you can experience the very same thing that we're exposing your learners to. So to start, the game really focuses on 4 sort of key elements about the game. So that's mindfulness, it's awareness, it's skills, and it's transformation. And you'll see that through the game, these players are introduced to basic concepts of what an entrepreneur is all about, who can become an entrepreneur, how to get started with being an entrepreneur, how to pursue a career in entrepreneurship. So they're exposed to a few key elements about the real sort of business world scenarios that a typical entrepreneur would face in today's day and age. So for example, the things that the game really tests are things like their critical thinking skills, their problem solving skills, their decision making, and I'll speak more to that in just a bit in terms of how that impacts how well they do within the game itself and how the game sort of measures that. And then we've got the gamification aspect of it, where they're learning and they're having fun. So there's a bit of that competitiveness that's in there, where they compete in a friendly sort of challenge with their friends amongst themselves, whether it be in a classroom and they're playing all together or they're playing as friends, etc. It's just really great to sort of have that aspect where they're looking to either outshine or outdo the other. And the game also allows them to earn points. The more that they sell, the more that they make good decisions within the game, which I'll speak to in just a bit. And the game is also replayable. So that's an incredible thing about it this time around, is that if the learner is not satisfied with their score, they have the ability to continue to play the game until they are satisfied with their score. And so the game saves the best score that they've got, not that per per score that they have, the game continues to update as such. It does retain the highest score that they have. So they can play over 10 times and still really have the ability to continue leveling up on the gaming leaderboard as well. And that leaderboard will be available to both teachers and learners. But I think Martin will speak to that in just a second. And the game allows them to also level up within it. So they start off really small, and then they understand what it is to grow their enterprise. And I'll show you a few of those choices of those pictures in just a bit. And it operates in a sort of loop where the player launches their product, they set the price for that product, they order stock for that product, and they take the product to market, and then they earn money from how much they've set their products to. And then they hire staff through the game, as well as gather customer sort of feedback through the marketing sort of analysis that's available to them within the game as well, which you'll also get to see today. And then the game naturally allows the player to level up within it. So like I said, they start off small, and then they scale up into a bigger sort of formal shopping mall, if so to speak. So they're just growing their enterprise. And then through the game, the challenges really do feel real to a learner, where they're really starting to understand what it is to start a business, what it is to start small, what kind of decision making is involved in becoming an entrepreneur. So it just exposes them to those kinds of concepts, and it has some incredible features in it as well. And I will take you through them now. So you can see how the game sort of starts, where the learner starts off from. Just one sec, I'm not sure how we went that far. Okay, so we start off with a really determined player at first. So this is somebody who is eager to take a charge of their own future and start building their business from the ground up. And so they're ready for the challenge to really be an entrepreneur. And so the next step, apologies, I'm not sure why the slides continue to keep skipping. Okay, so the next stage of that is that learners then get the opportunity to pick their product line out of 5 of the following options. So this time around, we've got 5 different options for the learners to start from. They can either choose to open up a coffee shop, or choose to open up a fashion shop, or a stationery shop, or a tech shop, or a toiletry shop. And so they've got these 5 options, and the learner can choose which kind of business they'd like to open and start. And they can always interchange these. Like I said, the game is replayable. So if they'd like to play using different products, they've got that option as well. And then they go to the next phase of the game. Apologies. They go to the next phase of the game, which is where they launch their, they open their store and they launch their stall. And so from here, they're starting off really small, as you can see on the screen. So it starts off with them purchasing a singular product, and then setting a price for that product, and then taking that product to market by launching that product to their customers for purchasing. So you can see here, we've got a character at their stall, and they're currently setting their price, as well as being able to see how much that would cost them against how much they're actually selling for. So therefore, calculating how much of a profit they'll be making through the game. And then you've got the next portions of the game. Okay, you've got the next portion of the game in which the learner can then set their prices. Here you can see how much they're buying their stock for versus how much they've actually set their price. They can always continue to change and adjust these prices as they go. And they've got this really cool feature here, which is a marketing sort of analysis, that a marketing report, where they can see how customers feel about their prices and their products. So are they setting their prices the right way? Are they satisfying a lot of a lot of customers? How many people have actually purchased their product? How many people have walked away because their product is too expensive? So what kind of things do they need to do to adjust those prices, or adjust their decision making, in order to make sure that they keep people coming to their stall and purchasing their products? And then they also have the option, which you see popping up on the side here, where they can actually advertise their business to the customers as well. So the game allows them an opportunity to spend money as they earn it. We all know the more you earn, the more you have to spend, especially to attract customers. So it's are they actually making sure that people are hearing about their product? Are they increasing the amount of people that actually attend to their stores in order for them to continue making high profits? And the next part of the game, okay, and the next part of the game, okay, would be this here, where they watch their business value grow. So as you can see on the side, they actually can see the value of their business. Their business is starting to expand. There are more than 2 stalls now. You can see that there's 2 registers. At the stands, there's more than 1 person available, so they're hiring staff as they go. They're growing and expanding, and within that hiring of staff, it's also paying their staff. I think it's a 2-day cycle where they have to make sure that every 2 days they make sure that their staff is paid and kept happy and continue to operate. And yeah, so they can see that over here. They can see how much each staff member would cost in order to keep them operating at those stalls as their business continues to increase. And they can also track how much they're making in that top right corner as well. So they can manage their costings. And then lastly, regarding the game, this is one of the last things that they actually do see. Once the game is over, they can see how much their business is ultimately valued at. So that means how much they've made, etc. And that's their sort of final score that's going to go up on the leaderboards. So they really want it to be their best score, and they can submit that score. And then they still have the option to either continue playing the game on the gaming hub or continuing on to other activities within AGEC. Like we said, we will continue to have things that we throw at them during the entire year, the entire duration of gameplay this year. But that's pretty much how the game is sort of set up for the learners this year. And then just in terms of timeline and what to expect, with the AGEC calendar for the year. So we are looking at the launch of the high school game, which we are actively in now. So that's from the 1st of April to the 31st of July. So learners have 4 months to actually climb up on the leaderboard. So the more they play, the more they actually start to get familiar with the game, the more they can increase their scoring. So we encourage them to play the game as many times as they wish during that duration. And then it's not to say that the game will no longer be available after this duration. It will be. However, the competition aspect of the game, in which they actually compete for prizes, will only be open between the 1st of April and the 31st of July. And then the game will be open for the rest of the year, but it's more so as an offering for teachers or for learners to continue to play the game at their own sort of free will, or continue engaging with the high school game. And then we also have the business pitches. So the business pitches will actually commence from the end of July to around August, September, and then we will have a combination of all of that with the top learners from the high school game, as well as the business pitch sort of finalists actually attending the event of the year. Some of you have been to, but it's a really great event where we celebrate entrepreneurship. It's a prize-giving event, and that would be the business pitch finals, which would be on the 12th of October, where we do the prize givings for the schools, the learners, as well as the top players. And then just in terms of what to expect curriculum-wise, the game really links well within the subjects of LO, and EMS, mathematics, as you've seen, math literacy, accounting, business studies, economics. But it's not to say that if the subject isn't here, that those learners cannot participate. So every learner is welcome to participate in AGEC, no matter what subject they're currently learning, no matter what you're teaching. Everyone could use with some exposure to entrepreneurship. It's more so just speaking with regards to what the game actually directly links to. And there will be curriculum packs that are designed, particularly for LO, and EMS that link to those subjects, where teachers can use these packs to link to what they're currently teaching within their classrooms, as well as business studies and all of these aforementioned subjects. They can link them to what the learners are actually being exposed to currently on the game versus what they're teaching in the classrooms as well. So those packs will be made available, and it's free to play. We don't ask for anything in terms of our learners having to pay a fee. It is completely 100% free to play, so learners can play either in the classroom or can play at home. They just need to make sure that they've got a device to participate on. And then just moving on from that, at this point I will hand over to Candace, and Candace will walk us through the next poll, and then we'll take it, Martin will take it over from there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aretha. So as she mentioned, we're going to do our next poll. Which subject in your curriculum do you think can benefit the most from integrating entrepreneurship games? Because this one is to type in, I'm just going to give it a few more seconds than the previous polls. Thirty more seconds. All right, let's see those results. I apologize. Unfortunately, the actual answers themselves do not come up. I'm assuming that those would be seen by us on the back end once the session is done. But I'm hoping that they were all the subjects that we mentioned earlier, as we truly do believe that entrepreneurial skills can be integrated throughout one's life and benefit you far beyond just starting your own business. And so we'll check those out later. But like I said, I hope they're the ones we had up earlier. Okay, so I think the slides have been misbehaving, so just bear with me. All right, the next part of our process is discussing registration, and that is going to be handled by our lovely stakeholder engagement specialist, Martin. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I just want to confirm that you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Good. Excellent. Well, I must say it's just really wonderful to be here this afternoon on a number of levels. Firstly, I have played the game a couple of times. I didn't have much success as my fashion store. I think I employed too many staff members, and I couldn't pay them. So they stopped working. So that was a big problem. However, when I ran the coffee shop, I must say that the croissants were actually really, really popular, and I did really well with that. So I'm really going to encourage you as teachers to play the game, get a sense of what the game is about, because you'll have a much better idea of what your learners are experiencing. But what I really want to say this afternoon is that as teachers, I think that you have a really critical role to play with this game. I think after many iterations, as the comments have been suggested in the comment section, is that I really think that the foundation has developed something that is going to be of real value for you in the classroom. So as teachers, we want to encourage you to please assist or at least promote this opportunity amongst your learners. There's an opportunity of using it within the classroom. There's an opportunity of having inter-class competitions, the Form 1s versus the Form 2s, or the Form 2s versus the Form 3s, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really, really agile in terms of how it can be used. But as we know, these kind of activities need to be driven by teachers. And so we really thank you for being here this afternoon to talk about how you can help. So on the slide, we talk about you assisting with registration. It is so easy, very, very straightforward. We've had very few issues around registration. Get the learners onto the gaming hub. If you are lucky enough to have computers in your schools, what I'm going to suggest is that you secure time every week, let's say for the month of May, so that your learners can have an opportunity of playing this game within the classroom environment. It's only 30 minutes long to play it once. So we've really made it much more compact and much more user-friendly for teachers within the classroom. You can keep a track of your learners' scores on the leaderboard. As we've said, as Aretha said before, this game is already live. And in all 4 countries, we've got a leaderboard where people are already competing. So the sooner your learners get on track, the better. And if your learners are having a problem with uploading their scores, you can assist them in that process. But it really is very straightforward. As has been indicated before, learners need an email address. It could be any email address, their own personal one or a school one. It's much more versatile this year. You can play on a laptop, you can play on a desktop, you can play on a phone. There's a lot of flexibility in what device you can play on. It says on the screen that there's a maximum of 25 megabytes, but we've actually got it down to 14 megabytes. So it's really minimal cost to play, which is very, very different from the past. In addition to that, as has been indicated previously, you can play offline, and when you connect to the internet again, your result then gets uploaded onto the leaderboard. So the barrier to entry across the board is much reduced, and we're really wanting all quintile schools to take part. So if, basically rural schools, urban schools, independent schools, state schools, we want you to be playing. And as I've indicated, it's only 30 minutes, 30 minutes long. So it's a whole lot shorter than it was in the past. So moving on to the registration process, as I've said to you, they just need a Google, an email address. And I'm going to talk you through the actual onboarding process. So you'll see when you register, when you click on register, you have to insert an email address, just like any of these accounts that you do online, a password, confirm the password, and then click on register. And when you click on register, there will be an instruction to verify your email. So you have to go to your email, and you will find an email from AGEC to say register or verify your email. and you'll come up with a screen that looks something like this. As a teacher, you can opt to select the teacher option, but for your learners, we want them to be registered as high school learners. If you've got your gran who is keen on gaming, or your cousin, they can then register as general players. If you can encourage your parents or guardians of your learners to also play the game. We've really made it accessible to a whole lot of people, as Marcel said in the chat just now. Then, obviously, you put in your name. This is your personal details, your surname, and then your province or your region for the other SADC countries. And then your school. Now, we have had a situation where some schools are not on our database yet, but it is so easy to actually then get your school registered if it is not on the database that we've got. So you'll see that block on the right-hand side that says if your school isn't on the list, you simply click on that icon, that green icon, which is on the bottom right-hand side of the page, and you send us a message, and we've got wonderful people on the back end who will just upload your school. I'm going to say now, probably within 24 hours, but it's likely to be much shorter than that. Nationality, because we've got the 4 countries playing, that's also to be put in. And then linking to the competition that was spoken about earlier on today is for you, if you want to claim your prize of, I think it was 500 Rand, and that's to 15 of those of you who are present today, you need to put in your email address as a reference code. Okay, but we'll come back to that later when we remind you of the prizes for today's session. Okay, and then you will be registered, and there you'll get a message that says, congratulations, you're done. And then you move on, and you'll see a screen that says game or play now, and you just get going. That's what I did. Just get going and start playing the game. It takes a while to get a little bit into the swing of things. If you are keen to know what's happening around the country, click on the leaderboard. At the moment, we've got the top 20 for each country on your respective country leaderboards. And you can see which school is at the top, how many points they've got, etc., etc. And I can tell you now, the competition between the 3 countries is already very, very competitive. I do want to say, if you've got any issue, please contact us using that icon on the bottom right-hand side. We'll get back to you ASAP. I think that's all from me. I just want to, before we go to the poll, Candice, just to say, teachers, as you are critical in this whole journey. Many of you have traveled with us for a number of years, and I just know that those who have traveled with us for a number of years are going to be so happy with this product. I also want to say, for those who are just joining us for the first time, that it's wonderful to have you on board. This is going to be a game that learners are going to love. You're going to love it, and your grandmother's going to love it. Have a wonderful afternoon, and thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Well, I can definitely attest to the fact that everyone wants to play. My mom is hooked and she loves it. So we hope you all feel the same. Our next poll is, based on the demonstration, how confident are you in guiding your students through registration? And we'll give it a minute like last time. Okay, 30 seconds. All right, let's see those results. Yay! Okay, so 72% was excellent. For everybody else, with the assistance, these slides shall be sent to you, as well as Martin mentioned, please at any time, just contact us directly and we will help you through whatever issues you may be having. So the next portion of our presentation, we are going to discuss prizes and what there is up for grabs for the learners as well as for schools. And the lovely Matumu is going to take you through that. She is the newest member on board our ship. And once again, so lucky to have her. Thanks, Matumu.
Thank you, Candice. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
That's great. Hi, guys. My name is Metumu, and yes, I'm the newest member. Thank you so much for that lovely welcome, Candice. Welcome, everybody. Like Candice mentioned, I'm going to be discussing the prizes. I think this is the best part. So, I am from Namibia, and I thought it'd be fitting to discuss Namibia, Botswana, and Eswatini's prizes first. For the top school in each country, there's a 20,000 Rand equivalent cash prize up for grabs. For the school to qualify, it has to have a minimum of 100 players. And yeah, so the top school is, it's decided upon using the highest number of registrations, the highest completion rates, and the highest leaderboard scores. For the top 20, okay, so for the top, that's the top school in each country, right? For the top 20 on the leaderboard in South Africa, we have a cash prize plus a Allan Gray Unit Trust Fund prize of 100,000 rands. This is to invest into investment fund, the Allan Gray Unit Trust, as well as the cash prize. But yeah, the top 10 in Namibia, Eswatini, and Botswana, and the top 20 in South Africa will be sharing these prize funds. And finally, we'll have the Allan Gray Business Pitch Challenge. The Business Pitch Challenge, which happens later, for the top 3 participants from each country, they will be sharing the $75,000 consisting of cash and the Allan Gray Unit Trust Fund to help them start on their journey of entrepreneurship, investing and teaching them to invest in their businesses and in their business ideas. That's it from me, guys. Please play, please have fun. Candice, feel free to take over.
Thank you, Matumu. So this will be our last poll for the session. It is, does your school have a business club or similar extracurricular activity? What would be great is in the chat, if you could just tell us how you think AGEC could enhance your students' learning experience, if that is something that would be valuable within your school. And as always, we will give everyone a minute to submit in the poll. All right, perfect. Let's see those results. Okay, so 24% of people said yes, they do have business clubs. 76% said no, and we will check up on the rest of the responses in the chat. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating in the polls. We are now going to do our Q&A session, which I shall be facilitating, but any member of the team can answer questions. So if I could just ask Sibongile if she can assist me when it comes to getting questions, as I cannot see all our participants at the moment. So if there are any questions, please just go ahead and raise your hand and we will get to everyone, hopefully, before our time ends together.
Candice, there's one in the chat that I'll just read out.
Thanks, Martin.
I teach maths lit and I find that learners can't visualize the scenarios. Oh, it's just disappeared. Oh, there we go. The scenario is being explained. This game would help a lot to put the important concept into a more real scenario for them. Absolutely. You are quite spot on. Sorry, I thought it was a question.
Okay.
So
are there any questions?
Yeah. Put up your hands, perhaps.
I see a hand up from Ashika.
Please go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I did actually start on the app, and I'm on the app and I'm playing, and it's really fun. It's a really great game for kids. It's just the registration process for me. For one, when I signed up, when I did register and I verified my email, then I did not get the stage that it said personal details. Like it just immediately went on to congratulations, you're signed on, and then I could just play. But that whole process of province, school, that section was not available to me. So at that point, I used another email and it did the same thing. So for teachers to get involved, like to say for our schools, does it only apply to our students? Like how does that work?
Yeah, so maybe I'll answer that. I think what's important here, so the competition and the leaderboards are for the learners only. So that aspect for us, it's not so important at the moment as a teacher where you're from and what your score is. What we want you to do as teachers is to play the game so you get a sense of what the game's about, so you can see its value within the classroom. So all of that detail is for the learners.
And so at the beginning, we were given that link to the form and that 10 participants. I assumed that was the 10 participants that would come on the leaderboard. I was just confused about that one.
Yeah, so you are going to supply us with the 10 email addresses, names and email addresses of the 10 people that you've uploaded. And with the referral code, which is your email address, we'll be able to verify whether those 10 learners are on the platform. And then your name will go into the hat, the virtual hat, and see if you're one of the 15 who win the prize today.
Oh, so it's basically just that's for the separate prizes for the teachers.
Yeah, this is just a fun activity for today's.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Okay,
great that you're finding out the details, because if you want to win, you've got to know.
Okay, thank you.
I see another hand up from Lomalungelo.
Okay, thank you. And unfortunately, I joined a little bit late, so I'm not sure about the prizes that we are talking about. But my issue is on the leaderboard. I don't know if I missed a thing, but then what I've noted with the learners to download the game and play it offline, and then they try to play again here at school. It doesn't allow them. Apparently, they create a password for the game, I'm not sure if that is the case. But when they try to log in or play it online, they are not able to. I'm not sure how that one works. Thank you.
Just in the absence of any other comments on that, I mean, it should work. If there is a problem, it's important for the learner to then click on that green icon and indicate that and be very specific about what the problem is, and we'll make sure that it's dealt with on the back end. But it's the first time that I've become aware of that issue. But if it is an issue, please use that green icon on the bottom right-hand side of the web page and of the game. Hope that makes sense.
Okay, thank you. Maybe a follow-up. On the leaderboard, who appears on the leaderboard? Because currently I can only see the student who's currently playing. I can't see the other students who played prior, or I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, the leaderboard at the moment for each country, so there's a separate leaderboard for each country. So in Eswatini, you can only see, currently only see the top 20. We are building in capability of being able to see more, but that's not available right now. So for each country, you can only see the top 20. But if your learners have just started, I mean, it's simply a case of having a look at their laptop or having a look at their phone, and they can show you exactly how far they've got for the moment. Hope that makes sense.
Okay, thank you so much. And then the 500 runs, sorry, the 500 runs, I didn't get that part.
I will touch on that just after this again,
Okay.
so that there's a reminder for
Okay.
everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. We've got another question from Debo. Hope I'm saying that all right.
Almost there, Candice.
Completely cut away just as you told me your name.
First of all, the comment is, this is the most amazing game that I've played in a while. I absolutely love it. It's addictive. So the whole we're busy recipients and 45 Moscow is to now we got somebody on 100. Is the maximum number of points that you can get to?
No,
I hope you got my question.
It's ever expanding like the universe.
Okay, Watson. So
no
it can get. Okay. All right. No, that's what I wanted to know. Otherwise, I love it for you.
Wonderful.
Thank you. We've got another question from Jeremiah. Have I lost everyone?
No, I'm here.
Okay, Jeremiah, are you still in here? You want to ask? You are on mute, so we can't hear you, unfortunately.
Maybe if there are other ones.
Okay, it seems we've lost Jeremiah. Are there any other questions?
So if our school is not, oh, sorry, hold on. Someone's
No,
hand was,
please.
but
Sorry, on my end, I'm blind. I can't see what's happening in the actual like,
Sandra's
Zoom
hand was
call.
up first. So I'll let
Okay, go for it,
Thanks,
Sandra.
thanks. Thank you very much. Hi, Cans. How you doing?
Good, nice to hear from you.
Yeah, you too. Just a question quickly. So earlier we were talking about the fact that the kids can submit their scores. Can they submit every single time they play? And then whatever their highest score is the one that eventually just sort of gets taken? Or do they have to sort of bide their time and submit when they feel confident? Or can they just keep submitting?
Absolutely. So what we've done this year is the game allows multiple times to play, and what it'll do is it'll always save your highest score as the one that goes on the leaderboard. So even if you do play again and your score goes down, you'll still maintain the highest score you achieve throughout your time playing.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Of course. We've got another question. I also hope I'm saying this okay. Ashika, help.
yes.
I need to say before you speak, it's just wonderful having all of these questions.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes, it's Ashika, and yes, if your school isn't on, if our school isn't on, so we just go onto the green chat box, and we just ask support like to change or like to add on a province.
Absolutely. So just your school, your province. If it is not South Africa, then the country would be great as well. And on the back end, we will go ahead, add it. We'll let you know, and then you can select the school.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Is there anyone else? Is Jeremiah maybe back?
Yes, ma'am, I'm back. Hello?
Hi, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, thank you very much. I wanted to ask on the leaderboard, because there we can only see the positions of the students, but we are unable, or I am unable to see the position of the schools, how my school is performing, because I heard that in the competition it's only the top schools or top 3 or top 10 that are going to be awarded. So we would like to get to know how my school is doing, so that I can maybe encourage the kids or whatnot, since it's a competition.
Candice, can I just make a comment on that? Yeah, just to say, you know, the competition is obviously something that is a big motivator, and we will be including that capability into the game for you as teachers to be able to, you know, see your specific students from your specific schools, etc. I think we have to also see this as a really important tool for you within the classroom. So the competition is one thing, and it's really great that that's going to be a potential driver for your learners to achieve. But I think we've got to also ensure that we utilize this game to its maximum benefit for educational purposes, so that the learners then get to understand what it means to become an entrepreneur. The more they get into the game, as some people have said, it's addictive, and some people will say, no, we shouldn't have this sort of a game. But they are learning the processes of entrepreneurship. So we're going to get there with being able for you to be able to see, you know, the list of learners on your from your school who are taking part. We're not quite there yet.
Okay, sorry, thank you, Sam. Maybe a follow up, because I also joined the meeting a bit late. I was still at work. I would also like to know, in terms of when we were at the launch in Babane, you mentioned something like weekly prices to sort of motivate the students who are playing daily.
Yes.
On how is that working, and
Okay.
to get a clarity on that, because
Yeah. No, that's
yes,
good.
sir.
That's good. We call those mini challenges, and for each country, it's going to be different. But we will engage with you. We in the process in April of really just getting as many young people onto the platform as possible. That's our main focus. When we come to May and June and into July, we'll start then introducing those mini challenges. It's certainly not going to be weekly, but we will have probably for each country at least 2 mini challenges in the gameplay time up until the end of July. I hope that makes sense.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. So we've had 2 questions in the chat. The first is, how can district officials track the participation of schools in their district? Regarding that, what we can do is, if you send us a list of the schools in the green chat box, then we can compile the list for you in terms of how the schools are actually doing. So I hope that answers that question. Then we've got another question which asks, so today's prize is for those who registered earlier than those that are here for the first time. So today's prize, essentially how it's going to work, if everybody is comfortable, I'm going to move to the recap of that slide, if the slides will allow.
I love the competition here.
Right? It's a good competitive spirit is very healthy. So just to recap how teachers can win, it is not specific to teachers who've already signed up. The only thing that you need to qualify for this portion of prizes is to have the students you get who will register going forward to use your email address when they register under that referral code. So if you approach students leaving this session, once they register using your email address as the referral code, those will be the entries that you can submit for the teacher prize. The reason being is we can track the, kind of match who's registered to who's used the referral code to ensure the fairness that each teacher entering has got 10 learners. The 10 is also a minimum. Please feel free to get as many students as possible to sign up. I hope that answers the question. Just to run through it again, we'd love it if the teacher themselves play. Then we need you to drive participation by using your email address as a referral code. Once you've hit 10 learners, you then can fill out the survey, and we will verify it. And as Martin said, put you into a virtual hat to extract our winners. Is everybody?
Candice?
Yes.
It's Linda speaking. I just wanted to add to the question regarding if districts would be able to get feedback on the schools participating in their district. So within the game, we do have like tracking measures in terms of breaking down the demographics of the schools around which province they come from and so forth. So and also because we are looking at encouraging our partnership with the provincial departments of education, we're going to be sharing some of these outputs with the department in terms of how schools are faring or participating. If there's a district official on this call who would like to get perhaps feedback, so that when we produce those reports and updates for the department to include them, they can just drop us their email and we'll make sure to be in touch with them, because we certainly could use the partnership with them in encouraging the schools in their district to participate further where numbers may not be increasing. Thanks, Candice.
Thank you so much, Nontando. And just to reiterate, this teacher prize is only for the people who have joined us in the session. We've had 100 participants, and that's been absolutely incredible. Before I hand over to Martin to do our close, from my side, it's been an absolute honor joining you today. We hope, well, at least I do, hope that you've had a lot of fun and you've learned a lot. Over to you, Martin, to take us home.
Wonderful, Candice. Thank you so much. I think what you've heard today is really a group of really passionate individuals who are passionate not only about entrepreneurship, but also in journeying with you as educators across 4 different countries, and really providing opportunity for learners. We want young people in the most rural parts of each of your countries to be playing this game. We want to unearth the entrepreneurial spirit that lies within the SADC region. And I think, if we reflect on some of the testimonials that we've had from past participants, and also touching on what Nontando mentioned right in the beginning, if anything, it affirmed that my passion can be turned into a successful business venture regardless of the challenges. And this is a young person in Southern Africa saying that. And this is the kind of comment that really drives us. So to all of you who've joined us this afternoon, we just want to say thank you so much for being here, for engaging with us. The level of engagement has been remarkable. And we just look forward to journeying with you. As Nontando said right in the beginning, this is a year-long engagement. Yes, the competition runs up until the 31st of July, but there's still activity that's coming on in the latter part of the year. So our aim and the call to action, I suppose, from us to you is, please get as many of your learners engaged. The barrier to entry this year is much, much lower than it's ever been before. And we just need the kids to be playing the game and give them a shot, get them exposed to Allan Gray and the opportunities that the foundation has. So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And thank you to the wonderful AGEC team, all dressed in purple. We had celebratory events in Johannesburg and Cape Town today, launching it internally. And we're just so excited about journeying with you, and look forward to engaging with you in 2024. So thank you all and have a wonderful evening. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Hello, thank you.